The confession you are about to hear is an actual tape recording.
All right, read the statement, please.
I make this confession of my own free will because it is true. There has not been any force or violence used upon my person to induce me to make these statements. Without promise of immunity or reward or gratuity, I confess.
You understand that your statement will be made public through the radio program Confession?
I do.
And that your name for the purpose of this broadcast will be James V. Madsen. You understand?
Yes, sir, I understand.
You are listening to Confession. The case history of the subject referred to as James V. Madsen is a matter of documented record. You will hear the story of his crime experience as told in his own words.
All right. Continue, please.
Well, let's see.
Tell your age, where you were born.
I'm 29 years old.
Where were you born?
I was born in Spokane, Washington. Moved to Los Angeles in 1947 after I got out of the Army.
Mm-hmm. Why did you leave Spokane?
No particular reason, I guess. Didn't have any friends there, and I didn't get along so good with my folks. I never was much good at making friends. Know what time it is?
It's 8:23.
Morning's going fast.
Did you have a record in Spokane?
No.
When did your crime experience actually begin?
I don't know, actually. I guess I was thinking about it ever since I was a kid.
Oh?
I read everything I could about it, only I didn't just read it, I studied it.
What do you mean?
Well, I figured out how to make a phony set of license plates and a driver's license. I learned how to start any make car without a key. Things like that.
And as a kid, at that time, did you ever think that you'd put that knowledge to use?
No. It was more like a game. I was trying to figure out ways to outsmart the cops.
I see. Go on.
In Los Angeles, I got a job in the radio department of a big hardware and appliance store in Ventura. That's out in the valley.
Mm-hmm.
I rigged up a radio over my workbench, and I kept it tuned to the police shortwave band. I got a kick out of listening to those calls. Jim.
Attention.
Hold it there. The police call's coming through.
7RD2, 7RD4.
Hey, that's around here.
211, Coldwater in Ventura.
What is it? 211, that's a holdup.
211, man, light green Ford, 1950 or 51 model. License number not known. Turn south on Laurel Terrace, code 3, KMA 367.
Laurel Terrace, stupid jerk. They'll have him bottled up in 10 minutes. Should have gone north and turned to Magnolia to Sepulveda.
Hey, Jim, turn that thing down. I want to talk to you.
Huh?
Turn it down.
What do you want, Ed?
What do you always listen to that stuff for?
If he'd have gone north instead of south, he could have got away easy.
When are you going to quit playing cops and robbers with that thing?
I'd have gone out to Sepulveda. I'd have got lost in no time.
You know, one of these days, those police calls will get you fired. The boss don't like it.
So what? Getting tired of this joint anyway. It's like being in the Army, being pushed around all day for what? For peanuts.
Well, anyhow, here's what I came to tell you. The wife wants you and Ellen to come over tonight. Play cards or something like that.
Well, it's a burn-up when a stupid jerk like that boss of ours can fire me.
And what about tonight?
Tonight? Sure, we'll come. I don't know if this is important or not, but in my whole life, I only met 2 people I could call my friends.
Names?
One of them was Ed Manning, the guy I worked with at the shop. And the other one was Ellen Cummings, a girl I thought I was going to marry.
Uh-huh.
One night, I was taking her home from the movie. What do you want to tell me, Ellen?
My folks want me to stop seeing you.
I knew they would sooner or later. Any special reason, or is it just me?
Oh, a lot of reasons, but if I tell you, will you'll be hurt.
I'm used to that. Go on.
Well, they think you've got no feelings about anything, like a machine or something. That you don't really like anybody or trust anybody.
Anything else?
That you think you're better than everybody else.
Keep going. I'm learning things.
We've been going together nearly a year.
In 2 weeks, it'll be a year.
You've said you love me. Yet sometimes I feel like we're strangers. Right now, I feel like we're strangers.
Ah, you're talking for yourself, not your folks.
I can't understand that kind of love, Jim. It's so cold and, well, impersonal.
I've got some things to prove before I can marry you.
Prove what?
I can make a lot of money, for one thing.
I think there's more to it than money.
If you got a lot of money, you're better than people who haven't got as much.
Is that what you're trying to prove? That you're better than other people?
I've either got to be better or worse.
That doesn't sound right to me. You better not come in the house tonight. I better go now. I don't think you really want me, Jim.
In less than a year, we'll be married. Tell that to your old man.
Good night, Jim.
That's when I made up my mind that I was going to start doing some of the things I'd been thinking about. Like Ellen said, it was more than money. It was the way I felt about people, Ellen's mother and father, everybody.
I see.
It was... I can't explain that.
Well, that's... You go on.
The next night, I went down to this bar in Pico where I used to hang around. One of the guys I knew who came in there, his name was Bill Swanson. Once, when he'd been a little drunk, he told me he was one of the top burglary men on the coast.
I see.
He told me he could tell me where to buy anything from an anti-aircraft gun to a ton of dynamite. When I came in, he was sitting in one of the back booths, and I sat down across from him.
Hi, Jim. Hey, how do they look?
How's what look?
My fingernail. I like to have them just so. Hey, what's on your mind?
I want to buy a gun. Know where I can get one?
Sure.
You got one to sell?
Never touch them.
Where?
Tijuana. Go down to Tijuana. You can find a cabbie there who'll get you one for $40, $50.
Thanks.
What have you got cooking?
Plenty.
If it's easy and the percentage is right, think of me too, huh?
We might work something out. What are you looking at me for?
I was just thinking I'd hate to be on the wrong end of a gun you were holding.
Why?
You look as if you'd enjoy using it. You know, I haven't seen you crack a smile since I've known you.
When I find something to laugh about, I'll let you know.
Real happy character, aren't you?
Well, I've got to go now.
How do my nails look now? Pretty nice, huh?
They're seeing you. I went to Tijuana and bought 2 guns. An old Army 45 and a 38. I hid them under the seat cushions. And the custom men at the border just waved me through. I was all set to go now. I kept on working at the radio shop, but in my spare time, I fixed 2 sets of phony plates and a driver's license under the name of Harold Peters.
Was that an actual name?
No, I made it up.
Go on.
Then I went out on my first job. I stole a car on West 7th near Weston, and I drove south on Western. I stopped and they changed the plates. I checked the 38. It was loaded, ready to go. I remember it made me feel good.
I see.
I drove down Western near Rosecrans, and I stopped near a liquor store and got out.
Sorry, I was just getting ready to close.
I won't keep you a minute.
What'll it be?
This. Give me your money. All of it.
All right.
Hurry it up.
For heaven's sake, lower that gun, will you?
Give me the bills out of your cash register. Got a wife and kids?
Yeah.
If you want to see them again, move a little faster.
Take it easy. I'm giving it to you. Here.
This isn't enough. You got more money than this.
On the level, business has been lousy.
Not that lousy. I'll count to 3. 1.
Hold it, mister. I got a few bucks in my pocket. I just remembered.
It's lucky you remembered.
Take it.
Thanks. You know how close you came, don't you?
I forgot about that money in my pocket. No kidding.
Yeah. No kidding.
You are listening to Confession. Before continuing with the documented record of the subject referred to as James V. Madsen, the National Broadcasting Company is honored to present Mr. Richard A. McGee, Director of Corrections, Department of Corrections, State of California. Mr. McGee.
To students of criminal psychology, the design revealing itself tonight is a familiar one. It is the unfortunate story of an individual who considers himself outside the pale of society. Due to some basic sense of inadequacy, he feels a subconscious need to revenge himself on all mankind. Law and authority are his natural enemies. He thinks of himself as a superman. He plans the supercrime, not realizing that his criminal acts are merely surface manifestations of his own sick personality. This type of criminal is extremely dangerous. He is your cold, calculating killer. Some psychiatrists have observed that what he is really seeking is his own self-destruction, and inevitably, that is what he will achieve. Unhappily, the only protection society has against such a criminal is apprehension early in his crime career.
Thank you, Mr. McGee. Now, to continue with Confession and the documented record of the subject referred to as James V. Madsen.
All right, go ahead, please.
What time is it now?
8:42 a.m.
Getting late. Let's see, where was I?
You just held up a liquor store.
Yeah. I felt good about the way I handled the first job. Made me feel, superior.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing that gave me a kick was a scared look in the man's eyes when he saw I meant business about the gun. I took close to $200 from that scared rabbit.
I see.
Then I ditched the hot car near Adams in Vermont. And I went home. I don't know when I felt better about anything. Next day, I was sitting outside in back of the radio shop eating my lunch. Ed was there, too.
Yesterday. She's going steady with some guy.
Good for Ellen.
You sure didn't lose much time getting over that romance.
I guess I always knew it wouldn't work out.
What are you reading that's so interesting?
Liquor store hold up on Western.
What are you laughing at?
Listen to what the guy said. The minute I saw the gun in his hand, I knew he was a killer. For a long time, I'm going to feel lucky to be alive.
No, I don't see anything funny about that.
Oh, but the guy who did it does.